opened in 2020 and immediately one of the main attractions here on the Las Vegas Strip. Welcome, everyone, to Allegiant Stadium. Has it all teed up. And we're off and running in Las Vegas. And this will be a touchback, so we're going to need our first snap to see the first action of this game. All right, let's get this show on the road. It is 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, they'll give it to him inside. And that's only 1 yard up the middle. Gonna be 2nd down.
The one thing I can say positive about the execution of that play is at least he didn't go backwards.
They'll come to the line here, 2nd and 9. Here's Stroud now. Diving, it looks close. They say he caught it. That's an 11-yard pickup, and it gives them the first down.
I know the Combine tries to test everything it possibly can physically, but I don't know how you test courage at the Combine because there's nobody defending you. Nobody wants to hit you. But that was the epitome of courage to make that in cut and make the catch.
They'll drive it forward, but won't get beyond the line. Rashawn Gary with that tackle. Call it no gain on that run, and they face 2nd and 10.
When you rush the passer, it's kind of like tracking down a runner. That same pass, same athleticism comes to life. He looked pretty good hunting his prey right there.
2nd and 10 now. Made the throw as he was getting hit, Brock, and it's incomplete.
That was a play, Kate, right there where you need to buy your receivers just enough time to get open along their routes. And your quarterback enough time to find and hit him with the throw. Time, well, that's not what he had. O-line couldn't hold up, and it forces the incompletion.
Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. Operating from the gun, it's Stroud. Finds the in route complete. And this is marked down right along that 40-yard line. That play good for 17 and a first down.
I think my favorite part was the magic he worked after the catch. The way he took the completion and made so much more out of it by adding all the extra yardage.
First down, Stroud. Escapes the pocket. And he just hucks this one away. Wasn't going to risk a throw or force something. It brings up 2nd down.
You know, as you can see here, things broke down a little bit. He tried to find a connection, but he just could not get on the same page. I'll tell you what I do like about that throw, though. He didn't risk an interception, and he put it out of bounds instead.
To the air yet again, it's Stroud. Hits his running back. And he works this to the 38 before going down.
Some certainly do it better than others, Kate, but every running back in the league today has got to do just that. You cannot be a one-dimensional back in the league anymore. You can't. You got to be able to handle your business, both toting the ball as a runner, and really importantly as a check-down outlet on short throws.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stroud. He's got it near the 10. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. The Texans finish up an excellent opening series. Brian Thomas Jr., the touchdown. Fairbairn connects on the extra point. And the Texans will jump out to a 7-0 lead. The kicking team all ready for the Texans, and forward they run to send it away. And no return as this bounces through the end zone for a touchback. First and 10 now from the 30. Hand off to the back. And he's down after getting this up to the 41. Give him 11 yards, Brock, and a fresh set of downs.
You know, the elite running backs in this league, they don't just see what's right in front of them. You set up big runs like this because they see what's behind them. That's called extraordinary vision and extra yards.
They'll throw on first. This ball's cut by Bowers. And they push this down to the opposing 47-yard line. It's a 13-yard play, and that's enough for the first.
And those are the completions they rely on in their passing game.
Football on that 47-yard line, first down. Here's a give up the middle. And his effort results in maybe 2 yards, but nothing more.
You know, kid, I like to call these body blows. Body blows. You got to be committed to running the football. Even if it doesn't move the chains, I guarantee you that wear and tear will pay dividends later.
Eight yards to go. Let's see how they approach this second down. Back to throw. No place to go, so he just threw it away. No connection on the last play, and now it's third down. They motion the tight end over. Third and long for him here. Complete beyond the marker. And they get this down to the 28. The big play nets him 17 yards. And that's a Vegas first down.
Hey, Kate, they don't rightly care who it's going to go to in that situation. All they really care about are the results on third down. And that's exactly the result they needed, enough to keep this drive moving.
Shotgun snap, looking to throw. And the defender comes away with it. Christian Harris picks it off.
Red zone defense. It is a part of the practice week at least twice, Thursdays, Fridays, even tuning it up on Saturdays, because it's all about protecting in the red zone. And not only protecting points, but taking the ball away. That is a gold star effort by the defense.
Here's Stroud on first and 10. They get it right back. That's intercepted. And the Raiders get it back on his 6th interception of the season. Well, they had the advantage for a moment, Brock, but turns out that is all just that moment, because they throw an interception to give the ball right back.
And for once, both coaches on both sidelines are preaching the same message. Take care of the ball. Not often you see back-to-back plays end in interceptions, and we're right back to where we were just a couple moments ago.
Nice cup. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Las Vegas. The Raiders pick it off and get points on the ensuing drive. So great work by the running back there. Brock found just a little bit of space, and he took advantage all the way for 6.
Big time. I mean, so big time. You know, and you hear running back coaches, Kate, say this. They'll say slow to explode through. And he explodes all the way for the touchdown.
That one splits the uprights. And the Raiders tie this game 7-7. Koo all lined up and ready to boot this one away. And that one bounces through the end zone for a touchback. First and 10 now from the 30. Give now to the running back. And he found some running room for a nice gain. Good rip on first down. That brings up 2nd and 2.
You know, that's a good run right there to keep the offense on schedule. If he can average that type of yards per carry, this guy's going to be more than all right with letting him lead the show.
After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short. From the 38. Deep downfield. And that's nearly intercepted, but couldn't hang on. Just a harmless incompletion. It's 3rd down.
That's somebody they're going to look for if he has any space deep. That space, though, Kate, just disappeared between when he let that pass go and when he actually made it down the field.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got 3rd down. Shotgun now for Stroud. Buys time, rolling right. Cut by the open man. And he's out of bounds past midfield. Give him 13 on that play. And it sets up a Houston first.
Timing on routes change when you leave the pocket. It really does become, well, the schoolyard. And you got to scramble around. What a great adjustment to still deliver a clean ball.
Completed to his running back. And they make the tackle at the 38. And that one goes for a gain of 11. And the Texans are going to have a first down.
And the Texans first down.
That's 1 quarter down in our Christmas Eve contest. Both teams neck and neck so far. We'll return to Allegiant Stadium right after this. Welcome back. We'll begin the 2nd quarter with the Texans in possession. They're looking at yet another 1st and 10 on this drive. Malone back in the backfield, and they give it to him. And he drives into a pile of defenders and is stopped right at the line. And now we'll get a pause here. Trainer's headed out to take a look at an injured player. Let's hope it isn't anything that's going to keep him from finishing this season strong. Pressure comes, Stroud. Cut out left. They drop him with a big hit. At least he's able to hold on for the game, but boy, Brock, what a shot.
Well, he saw his guys pick up the blitz. Well, he felt them pick it up anyway if he wasn't looking at him. But with their effort on his behalf, I think this QB felt owed to them and the group up front to find somebody to get a completion, so that effort up front wasn't in vain.
Cut at the 10-yard line. They rip off a big chunk of field, and it sets them up with 1st and goal.
This entire play, Kate, depends on how well he can separate from his man. You get man-to-man coverage, it's really about 2 things: separation and trust. Because QBs want to throw it before he breaks. That's the trust. And then they got to believe that that separation can create the big play down the field.
This offense in position now. It's 1st and goal. They'll try and punch it in. Oh, he gets clobbered behind the line.
I was so spoiled for so many years in my Seattle market watching the Legion of Boom do their thing. That's what I see and think of when a safety makes a play behind the line of scrimmage like that. They didn't just want to tackle you. They wanted to end you.
Backed up to the 8 here. It's 2nd and goal. Back to throw. Stroud. And he will score. Touchdown, Houston. The Texans take a 2nd quarter lead. Quite the strike to his tight end, and the patience he showed waiting for that to break open. That was awesome, and it's rewarded with 6.
You know, it should be simple, Kate, right? In philosophy, it should be simple. Just plaster that big guy. Throw bodies at him in coverage, but stopping a tight end near the end zone is anything but simple with how deceptively good they are as route runners and finding that football when it arrives.
And it bounces out of the end zone, so they'll set up shop at the 30.
And they're on the 30-yard line.
drive starts out with a 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing. Finds his back complete. And he'll get it up to the 44. They gain 14 on the play. And that's good for a Raiders first.
Play like this, that's exactly where you want to get him the ball. Right on the outside, where he's got the space and a lot more room to work.
On 1st down, they'll run. We'll have him gain up about a handful there. Kamari Lassiter getting up there to make the stop. 1st down play, nets him 5. It's going to be 2nd and 5.
Fans love the long ball in baseball. It's like they got the home run derby, but you know what? Talk to managers, and they will tell you small ball can win too. Singles and doubles, you add them up, you could win a lot of baseball games. Football coaches will tell you, you get runs of that length, it may not be a home run, it may not score points, but it can do some serious damage.
And this is marked down right along that 40-yard line. They come through with a nice gain of 10 and a 1st down.
You know, Kate, it is so hard on these defenses to try to keep an eye and monitor on these running backs when they leave the backfield, especially if he's waiting to chip a defender or delays in the start of his route. He's really an underrated part of their overall passing game.
New slated downs to approach here from the 40. Back to pass on 1st and 10. Lays out, what a catch! That one goes for 17 yards and moves the chains.
I'll tell you this, you don't want to make a living throwing into double coverage, but double coverage and still finding a way to beat the defense and haul it in. That's not a situation many players win. There aren't a lot of quarterbacks willing to make that throw and trust their receiver to get it done.
They'll run here on 1st down. And he works his way for a gain of 4.
That is just a good, solid run right there. I know, it's pretty basic commentary, but sometimes football can be basic. It keeps you on schedule. That kind of yards per carry, and you move the sticks.
Second and 6 coming up here. Looking for a throw here. He's on the move. And the ground game works for the touchdown. The Raiders can tie it up in the 2nd after cutting into the lead. Great play by the QB there, Brock. The play broke down. He didn't have much of a choice other than to escape and improvise. And in the end, turned out to be the best call he could have made.
It is such a necessary tool in today's NFL for that QB to put right in his tool belt, Kate. You know, in my day, you could be a blacksmith, right? You just do the job and stay in the pocket. Not anymore. You got to be an artist, and you got to be an artist that could create when things break down, and that's big time to get a touchdown out of it as well.
Cool, all lined up and ready to boot this one away. And he opts not to bring this one out, so they're going to enjoy some good starting field position from the 30. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. From the gun, Stroud has him on the quick hitter. And he's got a decent gain before being brought down.
It takes a certain level of fearlessness, craziness to work over the middle of the field in this league. You're fighting through guys as you go, and all the while you know you could take a lick at any time.
And he gets leveled just before he reaches the marker, and that hit prevents a 1st down. 3 yards to pick up that time, and we have reached the 2-minute warning. Third and just 2 to go. Now it's Stroud. And there's a man there. It's intercepted. Trayvon Merrick has it.
Well, obviously not the cleanest game without 2 interceptions, but here's the key. This is where mental toughness for a quarterback becomes so critical. And frankly, why some of the best QBs playing today have baseball in their background, because you flush your mistakes. Okay, you strike out, you throw an interception, but you got to go get it in that next series. Got to put these interceptions behind and press forward ahead.
Back to throw on 1st and 10. Caught by his back. And he'll get it up to the 44. Raiders moving quickly, trying to get set as the clock continues to run. From the 44 here on 2nd down. Complete to the rookie out of Auburn. A nice gain of 13 yards as it brings up a 1st down. Back now, pressure on its way. Falls to the ground out left, incomplete.
Hey, I know nobody's perfect, and all you have to do is listen to me and how many words I screw up. But you certainly expect those throws of that length to be 100%. They've got to be borderline automatic in this offense.
Second and 10 now. Still has some space inside the 35. They'll get 18 yards there. And that's a Vegas 1st down.
Well, that's a game that has its roots in preparation during the week. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday kind of stuff. Identifying ways to target the coverage and creating opportunities for big completions.
Throwing it again here. Dumped off to his running back. And that is a big hit right after that catch, so the play limited to maybe just a couple yards.
As an offense, you don't call a screen, Kate, expecting to gain just a few yards. You call it expecting to break off something big and substantial. But it's up to that defense to stay ahead of it, to keep it contained to something much smaller. Case in point right there.
From the 23. On the move, headed right. This has been a trend, yet another interception. And the Texans take over on his 5th interception of the season. Well, Brock, if you like defense, you are loving what you're seeing right now. Consecutive drives that have ended in interceptions. It's become a real defensive battle.
Well, let's see here, Kate. We got 1, we got 2. Do I hear a 3rd interception in a row? I'll tell you this right now. These defenders, they are squashing that thought. The defenders are offensive guys with bad hands because they're making it happen, taking the ball away.
Nothing there left side as it ends up incomplete. Looking for the back that time. So it'll be 2nd down.
That is normally a gimme for this offense, these short throws. But the defense, well, they had just enough influence on that play to force the incompletion.
2nd and 10, Stroud to throw. Finds him on the crossing route. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. Timeout coming from the Texans. That's their first. They'll have 2 left to work with before halftime. First and 10 from a yard shy of midfield. Operating from the gun, it's Stroud. Hits his running back. And he's brought down right in the neighborhood of that 40-yard line. The clock rolls as the Texans try to hurry their offense to the line. To the air yet again, it's Stroud. He puts some juice on a deep... Big gain downfield. And in for the Houston touchdown. So, Brock, this offense starting to find its rhythm a bit as they finish things with a touchdown there to give them the lead.
And the key word there that you said is finish, because you want to have that mindset, even early in the game, that field goals aren't going to cut it. So that's great work to make sure they finish with 6 points.
The kicking team all ready for the Texans, and forward they run to send it away. And the kickoff is into and then out of the end zone. Touchback. This drive starting from the 30. They'll begin this drive with barely over 25 seconds left. Interception last drive doesn't deter them. They're going right back to the air. Well, the pressure nearly got to him, but still a good play defensively as that one falls incomplete. No dice on that prior pass. Here's second down. Not taking any risks here, keeping this one on the ground. And he found some running room for a nice gain. A solid 8-yard gain there, and now they're going to have 3rd and 2.
When you don't have great success on first down, Kate, it's a little bit like a hitter in baseball falling behind in the count. And all you want to do as a hitter is get back to a fighting chance. Give yourself a better count. That play, well, it does the same here. Now a much more manageable and opportune 3rd down situation.
That brings us to halftime. We'll get a break as our teams make their adjustments and then return with more of the NFL on EA Sports in just a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. Kate Scott, Brock Heward with you as we're about set to begin the 3rd quarter. The kicking team all ready for the Texans, and forward they run to send it away. And we'll have to wait at least a few moments longer for an exciting start to this second half. We've got a touchback. First and 10 now from the 30. Here's a handoff up the gut. And into a sea of bodies he goes. Looks like they'll get about 3 out of it.
Got to be rush hour, Kate, because there's a whole lot of traffic up the middle right there. He ran right into some gridlock, and he could only manage a few yards at most.
Second down now, 7 to go. Back to throw. Chased out to his right. And they get to him as he was trying to make something happen. And that pushes them back. 3rd down coming up.
It's looking like a dreaded 3-and-out offensively, but listen, if you can't keep your quarterback clean and upright, you're going to need some magic, big-time magic, to convert on this 3rd and long.
Defense looking to defend the marker on 3rd down. He's dropping back to throw. They're on him again, and he goes down again. And consecutive sacks have them staring at a tough 4th down. The Raiders bringing out the punting unit. And this somehow is only going to be our first punt of the game. He was only needed twice in last week's win, and he gets this one away. And it ends up a good return for him, up past their own 40. Found some space, ended up with 18 on that return. And it's going to be Texans football. Let's see how they attack this first down, Brock, from the 43. Running this one left. And he's able to reach that midfield stripe after some solid running.
You know, this is an offense that will emphasize the ground game at different points of each and every contest. And as long as they can reliably get gains like this, it's not going to change anytime soon.
From midfield on 2nd down. Throw wheeled in by Thomas. And they get this down roughly to the 34-yard line. It's a gain of 17 on that one. And it sets up a Houston first.
You know what I love about this? Never showing panic. When he leaves the pocket, look at his eyes. They continue to search downfield. They're never looking at the rush. They're finding the open man downfield before running out of real estate.
And he gets up for a gain of about 4.
Well, I'll steal a line from one of my buddies, but I'm going to quote him. Mark Schlereth, 2-time Super Bowl winner, says if you want to run the ball, you got to keep running the ball. And that's a perfect example of it. Don't get tired. Don't get mad at gaining 4 yards. It's a run that can set up even more in the run game.
And he gets absolutely popped to end that one. They pick up 1 on the run. Need more, though. That takes him to 3rd and 5. Shotgun now, first round. That one's complete over the middle. And he stopped just before he reaches the red zone at the 21. He manages a gain of 8 there. And the Texans are going to have a first down. Now they'll throw out of the gun. And he can't hang on. Touchdown in his arms. It slips through. Second down coming up.
Well, that's a major missed opportunity for the offense and a sigh of relief for the defense. Now you got to adjust a little bit, get some extra help on the back end of your defense to take those shots away.
Out of the gun, they'll give it to him inside. Down to the 10. And he's taken down just in time at the 2. They'll have 1st and goal to go now after they gained 18 on the previous play.
To play running back in this league, well, you've got to have tremendous vision. We saw it twice. Once to find the lane upfield, and then to get to space and break off some extra yards.
Four downs now to get in. Here's 1st and goal. Watson has the Houston touchdown. The Texans push their lead further to start the half. Fairbairn now for the PAT. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Texans double their lead to 14. The kicking team all ready for the Texans, and forward they run to send it away. And no return as this bounces through the end zone for a touchback. First and 10 now from the 30. Blown back in the backfield, and he gets the handoff. And he scampers ahead and gets 2 on the carry.
That's a pretty good stop on 1st down. This defense now gets a chance to dictate, and that's what all the great defenses want to do, Kate. They want to dictate it on their terms and not just be reacting to what the offense is always doing.
Eight yards to go. Let's see how they approach this 2nd down. From the 32. That won't be caught outright. It's incomplete. This one intended for the running back. And that's going to leave him with a tough 3rd and long.
You know, in the NFL, offensive-minded teams will call it a perfect Friday. They don't want the ball to hit the ground once. And especially on these short to intermediate throws, you've got to count on those being efficient and effective.
Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. Throwing now from the gun. He has the first over the middle. And he'll be brought down a step or 2 shy of midfield. They're going to mark him at the 48. It's a great pickup, 16 yards, and now they've got 1st down. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Escapes the pocket. And he slides down with enough to pick up that first. He finds him 16 yards and a new set of downs.
You know, Kate, back in the day, we had a slip and slide at practice for moments just like that. Actually practicing how to slide and get out of harm's way. Nice gain on the play, and denied that defense yet another chance to take a shot on him.
And he won't salvage that. It's a loss on the play.
That's why you often see some mix, some high percentage pass plays on 1st and 10. You got to keep a defense honest. They're always looking for a run in that situation and a chance to stack them up for 2nd and long.
2nd and 13. And he let his man just a little too much there. That's an incomplete pass.
Well, you certainly want those throws to be automatic. Every team, if you're going to be efficient, you've got to hit those passes in the short to intermediate zone to effectively move the ball in this league.
No connection on the last play, and now it's 3rd down. Pass play coming here. He lets a heater go deep. He's got it deep downfield. And in for the touchdown. So the offense showing a slightly different dimension there, Brock. Getting the running back involved with his hands for the touchdown.
Yeah, such an advantage. I think when you think about it, Kate, it really is about the 80s where we start to see these running backs not just tote the ball as runners, but be real weapons when they get the ball in the passing game.
Yeah.
That's well done.
That one right down the middle. And the Raiders chop the lead in half. It's down to 7. And just like that, we're back to a one-possession ball game as the kickoff is away. And that one bounces through the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 30-yard line.
This our last play of the quarter. Stroud throwing here on 1st. Dump off caught by his back. We're working a couple of yards past the line. Terrion Arnold in on the stop. We're off to the 4th quarter here on Christmas Eve. It's the Texans in possession of it, needing to preserve that lead over one final quarter. Eight yards to go. Let's see how they approach this 2nd down. From the gun, Stroud. They did it! He made the interception! And the Raiders have some new life in the 4th. Well, he's had the kind of scoring day you love to see out of him. 3 touchdowns in the book so far, but now 3 interceptions thrown as well. Gotta do without those.
Yeah, you do. The aggressiveness has helped him find the end zone several times, but it's also led him to find defenders several times as well. You got to figure this out. It's a quarterback teeter-totter. How to dial the mistakes back while keeping that aggressive mindset as well.
And he'll be touched down after a big play.
That's just a gorgeous corner route by the wide receiver. I bet you'll find, Kate, in the annals of football history, the best corner route runners as receivers are also the best slant runners, the best post runners, because it's all about change of direction, and that was put on display right there.
First down from the red zone. From the pocket, looking for a target. Trying to find his tight end. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Setting up a throw. Not enough on this throw. It hits the turf instead of his man. Couldn't connect with Jordan Addison. So now it's going to be 3rd and long.
You know, when we were growing up in the backyard, we call them alligators. 1 alligator, 2 alligator, 3 alligator. He needed another alligator in order to get that ball off. Credit the defense for forcing the incompletion.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got 3rd down. Throwing from the gun here. Complete beyond the marker. That's a gain of 13, and it sets him up with 1st and goal.
You know, I'm really not sure if that was an intentionally brave play to challenge double coverage or just simply not seeing the 2 defenders. Either way, what a tremendous throw and catch that earns some momentum.
They can decide to play for the tie or win later. First, they've got to reach that end zone. It's 1st and goal. Shotgun snap, looking to throw. Forced it, and he carries it in for the touchdown. The Raiders parlay the interception into points. So they punch it in for 6, Brock, and now a conversion away from tying this game back up.
This one just has the feel, doesn't it? The makings of a 1-score game in the 4th quarter that could go either way.
So a chance to tie it up again here in the 4th. The kick is good, so this game now hinging on every possession as we're tied up in the 4th. Koo all lined up and ready to boot this one away. And it bounces out of the end zone, so they'll set up shop at the 30.
At their own 30-yard line.
Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. Looking to throw here and shake off that previous INT. Escapes out to the left. And he just gets rid of it. Knew he had a couple of plays left. Didn't want to take a risk there on 1st down.
I think more than ever, QBs today are so good at doing this, Kate, buying himself enough time and actually finding a target downfield. Just this time, he couldn't quite make that connection.
Couldn't connect on 1st. It's 2nd down. Here's Stroud now. He beams one deep right side. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Houston. The Texans take a 4th quarter lead. Brian Thomas Jr., the touchdown. His 3rd through the air this game. That one splits the uprights. And the Texans break that tie and now lead by 7. The kicking team all ready for the Texans, and forward they run to send it away. And that one flies right on past the end zone. Didn't make an effort to hit the landing area at all, so they're going to gift them a drive starting at the 30. They're out and set, 1st and 10. Airing it out to start this drive. Finds his back complete. And this one does not go far.
Simply part of the job description for any running back in today's game. You're out there, you're going to be one of your quarterback's most important safety valves. And you got to be ready for that check down at all times.
Here we go, 2nd and 9. Toward the sideline, and he's got it. An excellent gain, 20 yards there, and that's going to move the sticks.
Well, that one was drawn up and delivered beautifully, efficiently. If it's not circled on the call sheet already, you better believe it is now.
1st and 10 from a yard shy of midfield. He's going to throw this one. This ball's cut by Bowers. That play good for 17 and a 1st down.
As a quarterback, when you throw that curl route, you know it's a tight window, Kate. But the minute that DB turns and can't react to the throw, you put it right on your receiver's numbers. He comes back and gets it and moves the sticks.
Shotgun snap, looking to throw. Taking a big shot for the... They connect on the deep shot. And that's caught. Touchdown, Las Vegas. The Raiders now trail by just a point in the fourth. The kick is good, so this game now hinging on every possession as we're tied up in the fourth. Koo all lined up and ready to boot this one away. And the kickoff is into and then out of the end zone. Touchback. This drive starting from the 30. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. Stroud off the play fake. And they pick him off again. And the Raiders take possession of the football.
4 picks, 1 game. Yeah, I get it. They've not all been his fault, but it isn't any easier to stomach. For the sake of his mental game, I think it's about time to limit things to short, easy passes or simply take him off this field altogether.
From the gun, they're going to hand it off. And he's brought down after a nice gain and a 1st down.
It's got to be so demoralizing as a defense when you go up against a running back who just keeps those legs churning like a piston in an engine, and that effort's contagious. This entire offense is getting a boost when he busts those tackles.
Touchdown! Well, this has definitely been a tight one throughout, Brock. So now that they've taken the lead, the question becomes, can they hold on to it?
And that question right there is one the defense has to answer. But this sure had the look of a drive where a coaching staff challenged that offense, saying, hey, we need a big drive from you guys right here. And sure enough, that offense delivers.
Yeah, no doubt. That one right down the middle. And the Raiders break that tie and now lead by 7. Koo all lined up and ready to boot this one away. Returnable from the 2. He's brought down at what looks like the 24-yard line. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception. He's looking to throw. Gets everything he has under. Big gain downfield. He goes the distance. Touchdown, Houston. The Texans now trail by just a point in the 4th. On for the PAT, and a make would tie us up late.
That ties the game at 42 all.
The kicking team all ready for the Texans, and forward they run to send it away. And he got all of that one out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. First and 10 now from the 30. Blown back gets the handoff. And this one gets to the 33-yard line before it's stopped. Give him a few yards on that run. It's 2nd and 7. Back to throw now. Caught by his back. And he's touched down after a nice pickup there to get the 1st.
It is so hard for these defenses. I don't envy them at all to try to monitor where these running backs are. Are they chipping? Are they delaying their route? He's such an underrated part of their overall passing game.
Here's the lone back on the handoff. And they make the stop at the 46. 3 yards on the first down play, and that brings up 2nd and 7. They'll send him over right. Here's 2nd and 7. He's got him. That's Addison. And they're going to bring him down at the 36. The big play nets him 17 yards. And that's good for a Raiders first.
Boy, they sure found the right route at the right time to hit the soft spot in that coverage. And that slant, it goes for big yardage.
First down, ball at the 36. Throwing from the gun. Oh my goodness, it's intercepted! Kamari Lassiter with the pick. And the Texans take possession as he makes his 4th interception of our season.
This is a time that the communication upstairs from the booth, Kate, down to the field, it starts to get just a little bit hot. These eyes in the sky, they've got to help this quarterback try to see the field, because right now, with the 3rd interception, man, he is killing his team.
The Texans set up nicely as they come up to the line, 1st and 10. That's Thomas, he's got it. And they'll have it across midfield as he runs out. They get 13 on the pickup. And it sets up a Houston first.
There's no route on the old proverbial route tree, Kate, that takes more trust than throwing an out route. You're throwing it to a spot and believing your guy can get there.
Buys time, rolling right. He just throws this one away.
I love the mobility here. Starts great, escapes pressure, get out of harm's way. You just wish if you're the offense here, you could have found a completion to keep in rhythm.
So after the incompletion, here comes the 2nd down call. Setting up to pass. He's on the move. And he just got it away before the hit, but the pass winds up incomplete. It's going to be 3rd down.
That's just a total team effort right there, Kate. Defense was relentless on that play. Some of them chased him from the pocket. The others, well, they took away the easy throwing lane, and it really influenced that incompletion.
Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. Now to throw. Has him on the quick hitter. And they're going to bring him down at the 36. That's an 11-yard pickup, and it gives them the 1st down.
Every time I see one of those angle routes, I think back to my day 1 install. Rookie minicamp in the NFL. Texas, angle route. 49ers of the 80s, they were making hay with it then, and the running back's still doing it to this day.
They'll run it from the gun. Oh no, the ball is loose. And the Raiders get to it.
You know, this just can't happen on 1st down. It really can't. I mean, ball security is at a premium on every down, every distance. But on 1st down, it is especially a killer.
And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Here he is to throw. Look at all this time. An alert play defensively there. He got a hand on it to tip it away, and that makes it 2nd down.
Well, the pressure, boy, that sped that whole play up, and it opened up a wide range of outcomes. A hurried throw almost ended up an interception, and that wasn't until after they almost brought him down behind the line for a sack.
He'll look to throw it. Oh, he put some heat on this deep ball, left side. And the defender redirects that deep shot. Nicely done, incomplete.
You know, ball skills are not just a selling point for receivers entering the draft. Teams want defenders, especially in this day and age of the passing game, who can make plays on the ball too, especially on these deeper throws. He doesn't swat that one away. We could be looking at a huge gain.
No connection on the last play, and now it's third down. Here he is to throw. Along the sideline, he brings it in. They say he got the feet down too. Excellent work. That'll go for an 18-yard gain. And that's a Vegas first down. Back to throw. Looking for a top. And they got there in time. He's taken down. And the big play drives them backwards. Second down coming up. Timeout coming from the Texans. That's their first. And they still have 2 available for them as we approach the end of this game. Offense to the line for second down. Trying again, following the sack. He's got it deep downfield. And they get there to touch him down, bro, but a big gain on that play.
Speaks to this guy's talent as just an all-around difference maker, playmaker. We see him line up as a receiver, and we don't even bat an eye, Kate. And we don't really bat an eye when he makes that kind of play either. This guy's just different, built for the moment.
In quite the time crunch here, Brock, but still 2 timeouts to burn. It's first down. Here's a throw. Short pass brought in. And he's going to be brought down at the 23-yard line. It's a gain of 12 there. And that's good for a Raiders first. A timeout taken by Vegas. That's its second. Still 1 more in their pocket to use. Offense to the line for first down, conscious of that single timeout they've got remaining. A give now from the gun. And the plunge up the gut yields nothing there. No gain there that time, and it's 2nd and 10. So they're going to go ahead and call a timeout here. Only 3 seconds left in the game. An entire game coming down to the leg of Younghoe Koo. So they're going to go ahead and call a timeout here. Only 3 seconds left in the game. Now it all comes down to the veteran, confidently marching out for this moment. This one from an even 40 yards out. That one is good! And that, folks, is your game winner! The Black Hole can take that party over to the Vegas Strip as the Raiders win at home. And with overtime in their back pocket, they weren't going to lose it at the end, but they still managed to set up the field goal, and he executed the game winner. What a memorable way to win it.